Welcome to Learning with Lerne, where we embark on a transformative journey of knowledge and personal growth. I'm Lindsay Lerne, your dedicated host and guide as we delve into the depths of unconventional wisdom. Together, we'll explore the stories and insights of remarkable trailblazers who have forged their own paths. Brace yourselves for thought-provoking conversations, profound insights, and eye-opening experiences. Our mission is to challenge the norm, ignite curiosity, and empower you to embrace your unique journey. This is Learning with Lerne. Join us on this episode of the podcast as we sit down with Lauretta Nkwocha, a multi-talented British-American Nigerian entrepreneur and entertainer with a rich history in the arts. Lauretta is the founder of Lauretta's British Ginger Tea, a powerful immune-boosting drink that has gained popularity in the New York area for its health benefits. She takes us on her journey from being a professional actress to unexpectedly becoming a business owner. Learn about the thought process behind starting her venture and the challenges that she's faced along the way. Tune in to discover how this natural remedy for nausea turned into a successful business venture that aims to benefit the health and well-being of many. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
So you grew up in London.
I sure did, darling. Yes, London, proper London, like central London. Southeast, to be quite precise. I probably grew up talking like that, do you know what I mean? A bit more like how my sister talks. So she always says that I don't talk like I'm from London no more, like I don't talk like I'm from Southeast London. But I do when I do things like this. But I went to drama school, so...
Everyone will understand now.
Yeah, I'm not just some crazy lady that just accosted you on the street and said, "Hello, Lindsay, make me your friend." I could have done. You think? Yeah, probably. But yeah, so I went to drama school. So hence, I think that's why my accent kind of got a bit more sort of neutralized. I think that's what they kind of tend to do with drama schools like mine. Like, it was the Royal Central School of Speech and Drama, darling.
Was drama and the arts and being dramatic? No. were those all things that were a part of your life from a young age? Did you have siblings that were also into it? Were your folks into that? Where did that come into the picture?
Well, you know what? My mother, if she had not gone into teaching, she would have been an actress for sure. She was definitely into singing, into performing, very funny. So yeah, it's a kind of in my blood. My older siblings, I think that my sibling that's just older than me, he was dabbling in the music industry for a little while. He used to have the Michael Jackson curly hair. Oh gosh, I can't think of the name of the Jerry curl. That was it, Jerry curl. Yes. He used to have. And he used to think he was Michael Jackson, which I think a lot of Black boys in that era, they did all think they were Michael Jackson. But I'm the only one that went through with it and did drama school. I did, sort of theatre beforehand, went into drama school. I did try to be a bit sensible and try to do something else, because acting, any kind of creative arts, it's a dangerous industry to get into, because you don't have any guarantee of security, So I did dabble with something else, but really my heart, my soul, my groin was calling me to get into the performing arts, which I did. So I went to the Royal Central School of Speech and Drama for 3 years, came out, and I think I have always, there's this ABBA song, and I know I'm dating myself, but I already told you that I was born in 72, so it's a bit late for that, love. Do you know what I mean? Everybody knows by now I'm 50. So, there's this ABBA song.
Wouldn't believe it.
Me neither. It's very strange. Literally, as Aaliyah says, age ain't nothing but a number. It's so bloody true. It doesn't make any sense to me. 50, I don't. But you know what? These days, it's not your parents' 50, right? It's very, very different. We do very different things with ourselves, for ourselves, to take care of our bodies, and dress differently than our parents did and everything. So I think 50 is the new, 30.
I'll take it.
Me too, boo. Me too. So yes. So I think I was always into acting. I was always into being a performer. I was always into dancing, singing. Me and my younger sister used to play act, and we'd always perform. We'd always be American characters though, which is very interesting. I don't know why. I would always be the American actress or something. My younger sister would always be a detective, a male detective.
I love it.
Yeah, me too. So I was born to be here, to be dramatic, as you say.
Yes. Hey,
Yes.
I'm here for it, and I'm a fan
Yes.
of it. And
Yes.
so what happens, walk me through what happens post drama school.
Post drama school, I'm one of the lucky ones, actually. Thank you, God. I worked pretty consistently. I left school with an agent and changed pretty quickly to a bigger agent soon after that. So I did a lot of work for the BBC, ITV. I mean, quite a few shows for the BBC. I did a kids' TV show for about 3 years for CBeebies called Story Makers. I was Shelley Wordsworth.
I love it.
So yeah, and I did other sort of, regular sort of serial dramas or whatever for the BBC. Lots of theatre, because that really was my passion. The money is not in theatre, like you don't get paid the way you get paid for doing TV or film, but theatre to me was where you could really just enjoy the joy of acting. So once you are beyond that stage of rehearsals and then beyond the terrifying stage of opening night or previews or whatever, once you've gotten over that fear, then you could play. And my goodness me, did I love to play. Your lines are in the back of your mind. You don't need to think about it anymore. You know what the blocking is. Then you can really just relax and have fun with your character and have fun with your fellow actors. So theatre for me was the joy. Doing things like Shakespeare, doing, sort of anything, American classics or whatever. Loved it. I loved touring around. And then got to a point where I was like, okay, I don't want to tour anymore. I want to stay in London, in my home, and just kind of, sort of stick to that. So for a while, I was doing just more TV than anything else. At one point, I was kind of being biked by taxi from one job to another, during the day. It was wonderful. And I think when you're that age as well, and things come seemingly so easily, you take it for granted. Do you know what I mean? You just think, oh, it's always going to be like this. And it bloody well isn't. It stops at some points, Yeah.
What was that sticking point for you?
You know what? I don't even remember when it like. I mean, I feel like because at the time I was also sort of extricating myself from a relationship, and it was kind of it's a tough thing going through a breakthrough. Oh, interesting that I said that, breakthrough. Wow. But I guess it was a breakthrough because sometimes a lot of us kind of just don't necessarily have the guts to sort of, end something and hurt someone and hurt yourself and all that kind of stuff and hurt family members and everything. So I don't remember what was happening work-wise, but I know that the relationship ended and it sort of turned my world upside down in a way. So I kind of got into a bit of partying more than working.
Okay.
I had a fabulous time. And then I came to visit New York for the first time. And that was it. I was like, oh my gosh, look at her back. No, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm home. This is where I was supposed to be born. And yeah, here I am.
Okay. And you land in New York. And I know there's got to be more to the story than that.
Darling, the story is a very long one and I can talk for days. It was literally like I landed in Manhattan. The thing is, when I came to visit my then best friend who was visiting her family for Christmas. So, and it felt like I landed in Times Square, the lights, the buildings, everything I've seen on American movies and TV shows. It was like, what is it, Rhoda, who was, spinning around in the middle of Times Square. And of course, no one pays any attention because everyone's crazy in Manhattan. But I loved it so much. And I took the opportunity as well to travel to various other places. So I went to California, I went to LA, San Francisco, Vegas, Aspen, a whole bunch of different places. And then the one person I knew here, she was like, listen, Lauretta, you've done a lot of work in England. You could probably get an agent to sponsor you here in America. And then you could get working papers and you could come here and try working, see how it goes. I was like, right, I'm going to do it. Went back to England, got my book together, got everything together, came out here again, pounding the pavement, literally, hoping someone would take me on. We saw maybe, 50 agents. One agent decided that they would take me on and sponsor me. So then I got my work permit. I went back to England, threw myself a farewell party on 5th of January 2005. Then I came, but I did not come to New York. I was seduced by the palm trees and the heat of Beverly Hills.
So it gotcha.
OMG, it got me for 6 months. I did nothing constructive at all. I spent a lot of money in hotels and partying. Listen, I've got a tattoo here that says "Mother has lived." Trust me, she has. Mother has.
We'll have another
lived.
Episode of some of those stories.
Mm-hmm. I could tell stories after stories. My goodness. So then my one friend here again, like saving me. She's like, Lauretta, what the bloody hell are you doing? You need to come to New York. Stop messing around in LA and get here.
I love it.
I was like,
good friend.
I know, seriously, right? At least she had her head screwed on straight. So I was like, okay, I booked a ticket. I landed in Manhattan, it seemed, again, 1st of June, 2005. And really, I hit the pavement running. I got an apartment right by the UN within like 2 weeks, started auditioning, knew that I wanted to continue doing TV and film and theater if it's possible. I also knew that I had to make sure that I was making some money while I was waiting for jobs to come in. And the usual thing that us actors, us theater people, us performers, creatives tend to do is you become a waiter or a waitress or, hosting or whatever so that you can make money and pay your bloody rent. My fridge was full of spinach, eggs, orange juice. That was it. Rotisserie
Sounds
chicken.
Familiar.
Rotisserie. Oh, you see, right? That's honestly, the diet of champions, I say. So I thought, okay, let me try and find a job that I can do to bring in some money. I thought that I would probably be a very bad waitress because I would drop things and I'd get fired. And so I thought, well, I can sing a bit. Let me see if I can get a job singing. So I looked in the backstage newspaper back in the day when it used to be in newspaper format, and saw an audition for a company called Hank Lane Music, looking for musicians, for singers, for musicians, whatever. I was supposed to go for an audition, I think that following Tuesday, but I went out on Monday night and didn't get home till like 6 a.m. So I was like, I don't think I'm going to be singing today. So I did not go for that audition. I ended up going, I think 2 weeks later, and the guy that interviewed me, or auditioned me rather, it was his first time auditioning, like taking over and actually running the auditions. I knew half of 4 songs. One of them was a Beyonce song, and I can't remember which one it was. But I talked my own ears off. I talked till the cows came home, and I think I talked my way into a singing job with this company. So I started singing with them, and I basically have been singing with them every weekend and some weekdays as well for the last 17 years. And
incredible.
The guy that auditioned me ended up being my husband a couple of years later. Yeah.
Plot twist.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that worked out. Good thing you didn't go to that first audition, huh?
I know.
What types of gigs and opportunities were you managing while singing in this band? That was part of it. That was paying the rent. And what else were you getting up to at that point?
So it gave me an opportunity, obviously, to knowing that money was coming in. So I could go for open calls because I didn't have an agent. So I was going for open calls for all types of things, especially if you're living in Manhattan, then you can go and stand in line at 6 a.m., waiting to be seen for whatever theater show, whatever TV show. So I did a fringe show. I remember that, which is where I met my really good friend, Suzanne Dressler. And then the next thing I did was, next audition that I got was it was a casting call for a reality show to have a bunch of people basically living in a loft in Brooklyn, auditioning. It was like an elimination audition show to then get a role on the then daytime show called As the World Turns. I didn't know what this As the World Turns was, so I thought I'd better watch it, and see what it's all about. But I was just, happy to kind of get an audition and get seen. Sure. And then they brought me back in to get seen again. I was like, oh my gosh, this could happen. This could happen. As it happened, it did happen. I was very happy. So we lived in this Brooklyn loft. And literally at the first day that we were all supposed to move in, someone was eliminated right away. I was like, oh my gosh. I'm actually still in touch with this guy as well. He's gorgeous. Justin Stiver. He's so gorgeous. So yeah, I was every single day, we would have this, audition to do, someone would get eliminated. And then it would be the last three people that would be left in the loft. They would be given an opportunity to do a scene on As the World Turns. And then America would vote for the one person that would win a 13-week contract to do the show.
Wow.
So I almost got eliminated in my fourth or fifth audition because an alien took over my body without my permission. My audition, I swear to God, if anyone has footage of this audition, I need to see it. It was the worst audition that anyone in the universe has ever done. I was literally like outside of my body watching myself going, what the bloody hell are you doing? It was so bizarre. But I do think that the heavens were taking care of me because Chris Goutman, who was then the executive producer of the show, he'd obviously seen a few auditions of mine before, and I think he knew that an alien had taken over. So he took pity on me, Chris Goutman and Richard Mensing, they were the producers. So they did not eliminate me, thank God. I was given another opportunity, and I ended up being one of the four left in the house. I was then eliminated as one of the fourth person left in the house. So okay. I was eliminated. However, they gave me a 2-week role on the show, playing a character called Kit Fowler. She was a very naughty girl. That's all I'll say.
Was that acting even? I mean,
I know. I was like, well, how? You're hiring me to play myself? I love it.
And what was that like being on the show?
Oh my gosh, I loved it. To me, it was like the ideal job. You get to live in your home, your apartment in Manhattan. We were filming in the studios in Brooklyn. So you get picked up by car, maybe 4:30, maybe 3 in the morning, maybe 5, maybe 6 or whatever. You get picked up, taken to the studio. You get lines you have to learn, which is our job. I was very fascinated though, because some of the people that had been on the show for a long time, there's something that musicians say, you want to hear a musician complain? Give them a gig. It's like, some of these actors, they'd be complaining about, I've got all these lines to learn, or I've got to film at like 7 a.m. or 9 a.m., whatever. And I'd be sitting there in the makeup chair listening, like going, I'm so confused. How are you complaining? This is like the ideal gig. Do you know how many out of work actors that would love to be in your position? Getting my face made up by the most incredible makeup artists. One of them, Aldo. Oh gosh, what's his name? Eldo. I can't think of his surname now, but he is an incredible makeup artist. He does Sharon Stone's face. He loved Donna Summer. He and I used to sit there and kiki for like seemingly hours. Loved it so much. It was the most perfect job for me. This character, she was from Idaho. That was me attempting my American accent. So if you find it and you think my American accent is rubbish, don't tell me.
I need to see this.
Oh, yeah.
The one black woman that came from Idaho.
Right? I'm like, they grow potatoes here. What the bloody hell would she be doing? Right? But I was like, yes, you know what? It's daytime TV. You can do anything. I grew up watching Dallas and Dynasty. You could do anything. Bobby Ewing came back in a dream after he was dead for how many seasons? You can do anything.
I am
Seriously.
Here for it.
Hello.
I am here for it.
Yes. Yes.
My goodness.
So yeah, so that was amazing. That was amazing.
It sounds phenomenal. And at what point in this, not even a journey, in this adventure that you're having in the US, at what point along the way did you discover this incredibly entrepreneurial side of yourself? Or not even did you discover it, because you had it all along. You're pounding the pavement, you're going to gigs, you're showing up, you're waiting in line, you're doing the thing. Did you recognize it at the time as that entrepreneurial spirit, or was it just part of the gig?
Not even remotely entrepreneurial. So, you can't, like, seriously, like, it wasn't even in my sphere. I don't even think I knew the word. I barely know the word now. Try to get me to spell it. I'm like, wait, what? What the R-U-E-C? What?
I will tell you a brief anecdote. When I was transferring from arts college to the school that I ended up going to, I distinctly remember my good friend that I've known since childhood. She had a speech impediment, and she was royally messing up a majority of words, like throughout our childhood. And I will never forget, when I was filling out the paperwork, I had to choose. I was majoring in global studies, and I had to choose a business minor. And I'm going through, and I'm like, accounting, finance, marketing, And then I got there, and I was sitting next to my friend, and I said, "What the hell? What is that?" And of course, she sure as hell couldn't pronounce it. Never. Entrepreneur, what? And I was like, sure, that one.
What? Really?
The irony. Truly.
Oh my goodness. I love that. But you know what, right? Like, I don't think there are any accidents. So you were supposed to. That was what you were supposed to check. Whether you could spell it or not, or even if you didn't even understand what it meant. That was what you were supposed to be choosing, right?
That's the best part. That's the best part.
Yeah. Because sometimes I think your path chooses you. You choose it as well, but there's some kind of, a synchronicity there that, we might not even be aware of. So getting to come to America and it being seemingly such an easy path, it was an easy path because I guess this is where I was supposed to be and I didn't even know it, So like you doing this now, it's like and I know your story, do you know what I mean? Go from one thing to another and it's like, okay, now I'm on tour, I'm managing this, I'm, taking people on tour. Like, how am I even here? Girl from Rhode Island, like how am I even doing this, right? And you just go, okay, Truly. This is a path I'm meant to go on. Let me walk down this path. Let me explore. Suck it and see, as they say in a certain profession.
There you go.
Right?
There you go. Well, it's true. I have a mentor of mine that said something seemingly so profound, so simply, it's so profound the other day. And she's huge on walking is her thing. Walking is the answer to everything.
Yes. Yes.
She's not wrong.
Yes.
And she said, Lindsay, you have to walk to find your path. And I was like, well, ain't that the truth?
Seriously. Because think about it. You're standing still. There's no movement. There's no what? You think things are going to come to you? No. Yeah, put one foot in front of the other. Whatever that path is. And you know what? If it's the wrong path, turn the F around and walk back the other way or go in another direction. But keep on walking. Let your body high. Everybody walking. It's not keep on walking. It's called keep on jumping. Todd Terry. Shout out to Todd Terry for those of you that know Todd Terry. I've just rediscovered him, by the way. So anyway, but yeah, I love it. Me too. I just said I love it at the same time. Jinx, touch wood. There's no wood. All right. Anyway.
And so this, this unintentional entrepreneurial path that you end up on, what is that like for you? And at this point, it seems like it's more of a following of an intuition than anything else.
It's, you know what, when we do not follow our gut, when we do not listen to our intuition, that is when we fuck ourselves over royally. And I've had those instances where it's like, you're just afterwards, you're like, oh, with hindsight, why didn't I listen to myself? Why didn't I? Oh my gosh, my gut was telling me that, but I chose. You choose to take the wrong path, not thinking you're taking the wrong path. You just choose to not listen to that instinct that the universe, that Mother Nature, that God has put in every single one of us. So I'm a huge fan of listening to what my gut tells me. So for me, doing the show, doing whatever I was doing here on TV or theater or whatever else, I loved it. Even podcasting, absolutely loved it. Then this fell into my lap, but really it was no accident. So my first pregnancy, like many women, there's a lot of nausea and they call it morning sickness and it's only for the first trimester. Bollocks. For a lot of us, it's all day long and it's for most of the pregnancy. So, I was like sipping on ginger ale the whole time. And I'm not really a soda person, but I was sipping on that to try and help, soothe my stomach. So for my second baby, I was like, I don't want to do this soda thing. I'm a Brit. We drink tea. Let me see if I can find some ginger tea that might help to soothe my stomach, the heat and the ginger. I got every single box of tea that I could find. I sometimes would brew 4 or 5 bags together. It just wasn't strong enough. Do you know what I mean? I like it strong. I like it really strong. So, sorry.
Girl, same.
Ew. So, I'm like, okay, what the heck am I going to do? Speaking to my OBGYN, she's like, well, why don't you try it? We could give you some medication. I said, no, I'm making a human here. I don't want medication. No, keep that away from me. She says, well, try the ginger crystals. I was like, no, okay, I tried them. It was more like candy. I said, no, I don't need all of that. Thank you very much. My husband was the one who said, listen, why don't I go to the store, get you some ginger root, slice it up, put it in a pot, boil it up, make your own ginger tea. I was like, all right, let me try that. Did it, loved it. It worked a treat. Literally, it became my regular cup of tea. So every single day I would warm it up a little bit and add some honey. That was my tea. Over the years, I've added other ingredients, other natural ingredients to kind of really for flavor, but also it boosted the actual power. Do you know what I mean? It's a real potent, powerful drink. And I would give it anytime my friends would be like, oh, I'm not feeling well or whatever. I would make a batch of tea for them, give it to them. Then Christmas 2020, my sister was here visiting as I was making little baby bottles of my potion to give to friends. My sister was like, why aren't you selling this? Like, you're always, boiling it, making it for friends or making a batch to go in your fridge. Why aren't you selling it? I was like, light bulb. I was like, okay, let me give it a try. And that was Christmas 2020. September 2021, I made my first sale in my local farmers market here in Babylon. And as of today, I'm in about 18 or 19 stores here on Long Island.
That's how it's done.
Amen.
And I can personally attest that it is delicious.
Thank you. It is literally, this journey of entrepreneurialism, when it really is an intended one, it is a tough one. But when you believe in what you're doing and you're just like, how can I not do it? Like, I drink this every day. I'm literally, I have bottles stashed away everywhere. You know what I mean? And, on a Friday night, I mix it with some tequila. It's a party. Woo!
There we go. And we know you know how to do that.
Hello, right? I've had practice in it. But this is a healthy party. Who would have thunk it? You know what I mean? But it's the most natural thing. And I'm just like, I want as many, like, this is my saying, I want to be in as many hands and as many mouths as possible.
Yes. And how do you think your cultural background, Nigerian, British, American, has influenced the development of not only the product, but the marketing, the advertising, and the communication of it all?
The product for sure, the spiciness, like literally anyone that drinks it is like, oh, that's
why I like it.
Me too, right? That's the African in me. It's the African, it's the Jamaican. I don't have Jamaican, whatever. I am pure Africa. And of course, with the British culture, but the spiciness, it comes from it's the Caribbean coming from Africa. Obviously we all stem from Africa anyway. If you go way back, don't come for me, humans. Let's talk about it. But that's the Africa in me. The Britishness is the fact that it is a tea. So if it doesn't have to be brewed. It is brewed the way it's made, but you're serving it in a bottle, so you can then put it in a cup, heat it up, and that's your, have it with a cup of tea, a saucer and a cup, and maybe a biscuit, cookie, you guys call it, on the side, or a scone, or even a cucumber sandwich. You can eat it with anything, but that's your cup of tea. And it's warming, it's soothing. And in England, drinking tea has been a culture, since the 17th century, in the Middle East, in the Far East, here in England as well. And it's like, it's such a beautiful cultural thing because it brings people together, to share a cup of tea. It's warm, it's soothing, it's something you can use to sort of celebrate, whatever it is. If things are going wrong, let me put the kettle on and make a cup of tea. It's used for every occasion, if you want to drink something non-alcoholic. So that's definitely the Britishness in me is I drink it hot. That's the only way that I can enjoy it without it being alcoholic. However, most recently, like being out on the beach and I've got bottles in my cooler, I was like, oh, of course I can't heat it up. Let me just try because my husband drinks it cold. I tried the sweet one cold and I was like, oh my gosh, amazing. And I'm like, I made this and it's fantastic. And I taste everything as much as I can that's on the market.
Of course.
And I know there's nothing like this. And just with the ingredients alone and what they've done for me and my body, my immunity. I used to have, as a singer, it's not great to have sinus infections, and a lot of mucus. This thing has kind of wiped it out for me. Even my kids, because most children are not going to say, yeah, I love me some ginger tea. No, they do not. But I sneak it into the apple juice or sneak it into their vitamin C drinks. Yeah. Immunity boosted. My youngest used to he had a bronchitis when he was like a few months old. We always used to use the nebulizer machine as like an inhaler type of thing. We've been doing that every winter season for the last, I don't know, however long. So the last 2 years since I've been sneaking this drink into his apple juice or whatever, we have not had to touch that machine.
No, that's epic. And as a first-time business owner, what has been the most significant challenge and or challenges that you've encountered, and how have you been able to really overcome them?
Oh, how many ways? How many ways? The list is long. Now, bear in mind, I come from the performing background where you have managers, agents, whatever, kind of take care of things. I'm not saying that's a good thing because it's good for us to gain knowledge ourselves, but I'm just explaining where I came from. Literally, I would go and do jobs. Like one of my first big commercials, one of my first big commercials outside of England. I was a 4-day shoot in Barcelona. Literally, I think before my plane even landed back in England, I'd already spent the money, I'm sure. I'm like, I'm getting how many thousands for this? All right, me and my friends, where are we going? Let's book a flight. Where are we going? Literally, I was so bad with money, So being now this business entity, and it's me on my own having to take care of every aspect. Oh my gosh, if we were up in my workspace, I would show you. I just made a list of all the jobs that I have to do as a solopreneur, as a founder.
Yes, this resonates.
The list is currently at 18. I literally have it handwritten. I'm like, so I have to take care of every aspect. So sourcing the ingredients, brewing it, bottling it, labeling it, going and promoting it, selling it, getting into stores, making sure that I'm keeping up with inventory, trying to raise funds, banking money that I am making, keeping relationships with store owners, trying to get more people to want to buy it, marketing, social media. Oh, all the business aspect, like doing the LLC, all that kind of stuff, listening to webinars, podcasts like yours to learn more. The list is long and my brain is fried, I must say. However, I can't not do it. Like I tried. I was like, you know what? Let me just stop this now because it's too much. It's too challenging, and when you're sitting there and you're crying, you're like, how can I can't do this. I don't have any more energy. I don't understand what I'm doing. And if your gut is saying, no, baby, you just work through it. You don't just stop. You don't just say, okay, I'm giving up. Work through it. Because when you get to the other side, you'll be like, wow. First of all, I can't believe I made it through. Second of all, look at all I've learned. Thirdly, look at what I've done as an example for my children, for other women at 50 years old with 2 young kids, a husband, a home, and all this kind of business. You have the balancing thing. It's a real thing. And you figure out ways to make it work. So weekends, I try to make sure that I'm not doing any work stuff. I'm like this family or seeing friends or whatever it is. Try and make sure that the balance is somehow achieved. You know what I mean? The scales are doing this, and I'm a Libra, so I know all about trying to do this. But trust me, it's a challenge, but it's so worth it. If you have a strong why, it really is worth it. Do it for yourself. Do it for yourself.
It's so true. It's so true. And how are you able to infuse that creativity that is always there, no matter what, from obviously the background in theater and drama and arts and television and all of that? How are you able to infuse that now into the business?
It's interesting because firstly, having the creative aspect of my life, it's somehow fused into my personality. Like my personality, I know it's I'm not a wallflower. But I don't think it's because I'm a performer. I think it's just my personality, right? So it helps in forging relationships with whether it be store owners or other people that you're meeting when you're going to networking events. It really does help to be able to sort of come out of a shell and have conversations with people. It really helps people to connect to you. So that's one way in which it really kind of helps. If I were really shy, but I get on stage and I'm a great performer, there are a lot of people like that. You know what I mean? So if that were the case, then I would say I would rely heavily on my acting ability when I go to live events. So I would just act my way through meeting people, you know, having great conversation, introducing my product, etc., etc. So I don't need to do much acting because I'm just like, hey, everybody, come and drink my drink. It's great. And they're all like, who is that crazy British person? So, but then also the fun thing now, we're all our own marketing people, right? With things like social media and everything. Now you can have a lot of fun, you know, trying to get creative with social media and trying to sort of promote yourself in ways that are interesting. And, you know, I mean, I understand there are some brands that kind of stick to a certain template, I think, of promotion. I like the idea of trying to do sort of more interesting, eclectic things. So I know also one thing I have learned is that you can't do everything. You do need people to help you, right?
Yes.
So
it's a hard lesson to learn.
Ooh, child. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So, you know, I'm trying to use any kind of creative, because my brain is most awake first thing in the morning. So if my eyes open at like 4:30 or 5 o'clock, it's like ding, 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 ideas, whatever. So you either are able to carry out some of these ideas or you relay them to the person or people that are helping you. Say, okay, let's try this, let's do that. Even things like my logo. Now, granted, my original logo was fun and silly and whatever else. It was my husband that actually came up with the idea of using the British flag. I was like, oh, that's a great idea. He's a creative. He's a musician. He's he's an incredible jazz musician. That was his thing. But he's a creative as well with the brain, like, you know, freaking Einstein. You know what I mean? Mathematician, genius, crazy person. I was like, yes, it stands out. You want to pop. You want people to be able to look twice and go, whoa, what is this? Who is this? What's going on? So that's where the creative juices, you get them flowing and make use of the time when it's flowing the best. Sorry.
Yes, no, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
right?
And I think that's what's so interesting, going back to the beginning of the conversation when, you know, you were talking about doing a sensible career.
Yes.
What's stable. And that, I think, is something that's just this constant existential crisis in my mind, is why is it that the arts and creative endeavors and everything about it seems to be so frivolous, but business and finance and accounting and all of these other professions are so glorified. And I think that's something that I talk about a whole hell of a lot on here and outside of here. And I just wonder why is that the case? But then also, why isn't it that art, to me, art is a business is an art. And when executed well, those are all of the companies, the people, the products, the things that people are like, oh, wow, this is fantastic. Like, why is Apple so fantastic? It's not just business, it's the design. Who came up with the design?
Yeah. It wasn't a banker. It wasn't a banker, right?
Yes,
right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's this lack of mutual respect that's extremely unfortunate. And that is what I appreciate about everything that you just said.
I think more people are pushing for sure to also get, because it is important that those of us that are in the creative arts, that we do learn the business as well. So I think more people, there are schools that are now infusing business, you know, show business, really learning about it. But the fact is, the arts, it is looked down upon unless you are highly recognized in the field. That's when there is adoration. You know what I mean? You are adorned with all these, you know, sort of. But it's there are millions of creatives that are out there just trying to go from job to job to job. You know, look at the actors and the writers that are out now, bloody having to protest. Do you know what I mean? It's like, hello, pay us what we're worth. You're making money out of repeating our work over and over and over, getting money from it and not giving us what we deserve. Why are we? And only creatives, only artists are asked to work for free. Like, hey, you're a singer. Oh, why don't you come and sing for me and do whatever? It's like, okay, well, how much are you gonna pay me? What? No, I'll feed you. What? How do you feed me? I can feed
Doesn't
myself.
Pay my bills,
right?
Yes,
So
exactly.
why is that? I have no idea why it's not given the same prominence or whatever in society. And I don't know if it's just this society, or you literally have to be a Tom Cruise or one of those actors that are getting all these awards or whatever, or as an artist, as a musician as well. The rest of us are not really. It's like, oh, you're an actor? Oh, well, what have you done? It's like, well, you might not have heard of all the stuff that I've done just because I haven't done Hollywood movies or whatever, but I'm still, doesn't make me any less of an actor or any less of an artist. Yeah, I don't know. Exactly. I don't know if it's ever going to change either. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm working on it. So
you are? Yes, you are. Yes, Lindsay. Yes, you are. But it's true. It's about churning out the good work and just knowing that there are ears and there are eyes on the work that you are doing. Do you know what I mean? And knowing that you're satisfying your own creative needs. And you just, you can't do it for other people. That's the unfortunate thing, is you can't do it for everyone else. You have to do it for yourself and hope that it resonates with other people.
Before we go, what is the best piece of advice that you've ever gotten?
Now, I believe in this piece of advice so much so that I put it on my body. Literally, it says, face the fear and do it anyway. And this is my motto for everyone, for anyone. If you know you're doing good, right? It's scary. It's scary to make a change in your life. It's scary to do something that you're unfamiliar with. If you know it's something good, I'm talking about good stuff here. Not like, I want to go and kill a bunch of people. Should I do it? No, do not do that. I'm talking about good stuff. Things that change is hard, right? They say change is hard. Whatever if you want to take a step, a leap in a new direction and you're unsure, trust your gut. It's going to be scary. And maybe the fear is supposed to be there because it's like, okay, this is worth doing. So face that fear, do it anyway. Do it anyway. Just close your eyes and freaking jump. Look at people that jump out of airplanes and I'm not saying I would go that far, but you never know. I mean, I went on a scuba diving trip. Well, not a trip. I was in Egypt. I still can't swim. Now, before you start saying Black people who can't swim, yes, I am that stereotype. I am.
Hey, whatever works for you.
I'm confused though, because I used to be able to swim on my back. I don't know what happened. I was much younger. I don't know what happened. But anyway, I can't swim very well. But I was in Egypt and I wanted to go scuba diving. I was like, you know what? If this ends up being the last breath that I take, then I'm here in the Red Sea. I'm going to be among this incredible life, this whole new world. You know what I mean? Like Ariel, I will be there with the fish. You know what I mean? Put her with the fishes. No, but that's, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, this will be it. I tell you, it was the most incredible experience I have ever had in my entire life. I could not believe I was amongst this world, all the different kinds of fish, and they're just, I still have it, and I'm having a bad memory. I can still close my eyes and put myself there. It was phenomenal. I will tell you, before jumping off the yacht, I nearly peed myself. I think I did pee myself, and I started crying. But I jumped in anyway.
Yes.
And I'm still here.
If that's not the epitome of entrepreneurship, I don't know what is.
Cry, pee, and jump and do it, baby.
And do it anyway.
That's my next tattoo. Hold on. Let me write that down.
Lauretta, thank you so much for sharing these stories.
Thank you.
And your advice and all of the things. I appreciate your time so much.
I appreciate you. I appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate your whole story. I want to continue getting to know you and following your life and your family and everything. And hooray! Are we allowed to talk about the recent wins recently? With your,
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yes. Bravo, bravo, bravo. And thank you. Thank you, my darling. I love what you're doing. And I am so honored that you asked me to be here amongst all of the fabulous people that I've listened to. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to Learning with Lerne and hearing the wisdom, stories, and ideas that will have you feeling inspired and ready to take on the world. If you've enjoyed this, please remember to share, rate, and review. It means the world to me and the team putting it all together. If you're looking for more information, you can find me at lindseylerner.com. That's LindseyLerner.com. Or if you've got any questions or curiosity about me, you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Lindsey Lerner. Thanks again for listening and have an awesome day.